Hi, everybody. Welcome to Who Can It Be Now? Today's episode is a special meditation for all of you. I am definitely going to tell you to not be driving, walking, and chewing gum at the same time. Do something where you really get to sit and enjoy this meditation. I've been told by my members in Next Level Living that this unconscious, conscious dreaming meditation, it's different than other meditations I've done for you, and it's mind blowing. So they have been like, woo, where did I go? I was in a whole other world. And I want you to have that experience too. So after hearing feedback from them, because a lot of my meditations are channeled, and I can tell you in a minute how I do them so that you get a little window into what they're like, that I really don't want you driving and listening to this. I don't want you, you can take a bath. That's okay. If you want to take a bath, that's okay. But I don't want you operating heavy machinery or any sharp materials or walking unless it's a really safe walk. And I want you to really sit down and enjoy it. The meditations, I believe, is only like 30 minutes. So before you know it, you'll be transported someplace and then you'll be like, really? Time's up? That's crazy. These are the meditations that I do in Next Level Living. Every month I teach something next level. A lot of people don't understand what Next Level Living is, and I'm learning how to start to explain it. My program, this is my signature program, my live program, and I have a difficult time explaining it because it really is next level. So it's not just the typical stuff of learning about clairvoyancy and dream work and symbols. It's really taking everything to a whole other level and really tapping into the magical language of all these dimensions, multidimensional language, and really learning how to use your instrument and engage your instrument and be intuitive to a whole other level that you can't even imagine. It's so much more than intuition, and get answers for yourself and live a very powerful guided life. So as you know, my goal for everyone is for people to just tap into their own wisdom and live their life from their wisdom. And so I love doing these classes that I do in Next Level Living. If you want to know about it, it's at marilynaloria.com/next. And it's also in the show notes down below, or you could email us at info@marilynaloria.com and ask us about it. Some people are doing that now. And I'll do a little video for you if you ask me questions. Hopefully do a video for you if I have time. But the main thing is how I work. And I'm doing this more and more with my work. So what I do is I'll have an outline of something I want to teach. Like this month, I'm recording this on November 9th, 2023. So November's lesson in Next Level Living was all about time and how to work with time, and also about scrying. Scrying is a part of clairvoyancy. When psychics look into a crystal ball, it's called scrying, but there's different ways that you can do scrying. So we're starting work with scrying and time. And I had them create time as a guide, right? And it's really cool. So next week, I'll record that meditation for that class. And when I record a meditation, so I'll write an outline, like a syllabus. So my guides will help me write a syllabus. But then I just let my guides work through me when I'm teaching, and they just take me places wherever they want the material to go. And then I just teach it in an experiential way. So everybody's having their own personal experience with the material, which really helps them to anchor into their gifts and elevate their life in many areas. So when I go into a meditation, I know what the topic is, and I really just let my guides work through me and deliver the meditation. I don't have any plan ahead of time. I don't write anything ahead of time. I have no idea. I've been really very good at guided meditations from day one when I started channeling, and I'm very visual as it is. So I just let them take the driver's seat and just take people on a journey, a guided journey. When I was doing my retreat in October of 2023, I explain in my time class why I do timestamps, and I'll explain that to you in a second. Even though we're not talking about time, we're talking about conscious and unconscious dreaming in this particular episode. But when I was in my retreat, I took them on a higher self meditation. I never did that meditation before. I never know what they're going to do. I just know that we're going to talk about your higher self, and then I close my eyes or I keep my eyes open for a while, and then I go into the journey as well. And the reason why I go into the journey as well is because when I used to just do meditations where I would just do the meditation, I go really fast. As everybody knows, I speak fast. And a couple of people would be like, oh, could you slow down? That was very early on in my work. Haven't heard that comment in a very long time. But so now I kind of go on the journey too. I just allow my guides, and they know how to make me. I always ask them. I used to ask them. I don't have to ask this anymore. When I was doing a lot of telesummits, and there would be like hundreds of people, if not sometimes 1,000 people on a call, and people would be raising their hands to do readings. I have this a lot with Jennifer McLean's group. I would always ask my guides to help me to teach the material and then go into readings, so that I didn't have to give me a second as I get ready to go into readings, I could just automatically go into a reading. So it's the same kind of thing. I could be teaching material and then I can go into a little bit of a channeled state and do readings. So guided meditations are the same thing. I'll be teaching as well as I'll be having the experience as well. And what that has helped me do is it allows me to slow down a little bit so that I can have the experience as well and allow people to have the experience. So it's pretty wonderful. So when I was doing this retreat, somebody said, I've never seen, sure, the people do this, but she's like, I didn't know that you went on the journey too. And I was like, yeah, I really enjoy it. I don't have, actually, that's not true because sometimes I have a full on experience with it. I'm like, that's really cool. So anyway, enjoy this meditation, really, really enjoy it. And as always, as I always ask, I love doing my podcast so much, and I want you to help me to do more of my podcasts. And the way that you can help me is by sharing it. Share it on social media. Share it as an email. Give it as a Christmas gift. Share my podcast, rate, review, and subscribe to my podcast. The more people I get, the more I'm able to help, and the more it just helps me. I just really love it. So thank you so much, and enjoy the meditation. You'll hear a little music and it'll go into the meditation. Enjoy. Bye. Hi, everyone. So before you do this meditation, I wanted to give you a little bit of an intro to it. I thought this was a meditation that you could do walking. I don't think it is until you've done it a few times. I didn't realize what they were going to have me do until I was in it. And so you'll hear in the meditation, I'll say, you can do this walking, or you can do it, in the park. I would suggest you do it in a place where you feel really safe first, in your home. I would do it a few times that way until you feel really, really comfortable with it. You probably won't go as deep if you go outside. And if you were to do this outside for the first time, I think it's too deep of a meditation to do. It took me very deep in. It took me a while to come out of it to even end the meditation with you guys. But it's a really, really good one. So go and do it and have fun with it. And it's a meditation you can definitely do more than once. Enjoy it. Hi, everyone. It is Marilyn Aloria, and this is the meditation for conscious and unconscious dreaming and next level living. So what I'm going to do with you today is a conscious dream. So what I mean by that is it's a bit what we did in the lesson, where you're going to keep your eyes opened and you're going to have the experience of the dream happening with your eyes open. You're going to really have to use your imagination when you do this, because it uses a lot of clairvoyancy. But I'm going to tap into feeling. I'm probably going to tap into some sound. I may tap into some deep knowing, claircognizance. We'll see what Spirit wants to bring to me, and through me, I should say, to all of you. The reason I want to do this is because we're getting ready to start moving into using time and energy in the world to tap into the abundance that's available to us, and to also start playing with time in a whole different way, which is probably going to be next month and the month after. I have to see how it gets downloaded to me. So I'm already playing with it, and the way that I play with it is I just kind of open up the space that I'm in, and I allow what is for me to come towards me. So it's basically like opening up. If I'm looking out at a bookshelf right now, right? I can really blur out the bookshelf, and it's not even going blurry. So I'm not making my eyes go all blurry on the bookshelf. I'm just looking at the bookshelf, but it's not even there. And I'm noticing just this space in between that has more denseness for me. It's bringing me somewhere else. So I'm really, most people would say, using my imagination. For me, I feel like I really am tapping into another experience, another dimension, another consciousness. And then it opens up, and inside is all this absolute abundance for me, however you want to see abundance. And it just falls right into me and comes into my present day. So in order for us to get prepared to do that for the next month's lesson, I want to start playing with conscious dreaming so that you could go in and around things with your eyes open. Now, again, some of you may struggle with vision. And the reason why you may be struggling with vision is you're not really engaging the imagination, and your mind is telling you that can't possibly be. So look out in front of you right now and see an apple. Everybody knows what an apple looks like, right? So I can see an apple. It's not very clear. It's not a clairvoyant image. I'm projecting it, so I'm wanting to see an apple. Whereas when I see a clairvoyant image, it's very crisp. It's got a lot of light to it. It's got a lot of color. It may have lines to it, things like that.
But the apple, I'm seeing the apple. It's a big red apple. It looks like somebody took a bite out of it. And just focus in on different things of the apple, like focus in on the stem and focus in on other spots on the apple. Doing all of this we'll do it again in a second. Doing this with your eyes open allows you to consciously dream with your eyes open. It allows me, because like right now, if I'm focusing on the apple, I'm not even seeing the bookshelf. I'm just seeing the apple in front of me because that's where my focus is. And if my focus is on the apple and then not on the bookshelf, then that's what I'm really engaged with energetically. So if we're doing conscious dreaming and we're putting the conscious dream in front of us and we're not paying attention to what's in the environment, then that's where our intention is. That's where our focus is. And then the universe can communicate with us via that energy, via that intention. Therefore, if I'm focusing on the dream and that's what's happening in my physical reality, then I'm engaging more of what's available to me and giving it an opportunity to show up for me. But here's the other thing that's happening. You're opening up your vision, your awareness to actually see it. Because if we're so focused on the things that are in our physical realm that aren't working for us or are creating problems or maybe boredom, whatever it is, and we're not focused on the dream that we want to create, then all we're seeing is the problems, what's in front of us, not able to see solution, not able to see expansion. So the idea of this is to start awakening more of the belief system that anything is possible. We've been so trained to believe that things are impossible that we're just staying in our little boxes. And I add myself into this because I recognize through this work and as I explore it and as I grow even bigger in it and greater in it, and I'm sure you recognize this in yourselves, then I notice also my limitation. But it's becoming easier to let go of the limitation. The consciousness around the limitation is everything. Once you become conscious of the limitation, you can let it go. And the easiest way to let it go for me is just like, you're not true. And I let it go. I don't sit there and analyze it. I don't try to figure it out. I don't figure out where it was birthed. Why did I have it? It doesn't have to have that much of an anchor inside of my being. So I could be like, you're not real. Goodbye. And I go to what I want to be real. But many of you are not sure of what it is that you want, right? Now, I go in and out of this. I'm recording this on August 28, 2023. So there are days when I have absolute clarity of what I want. And there are days when I'm like, I'm a little lost. And that's okay. But it's not okay to stay in the lost energy. When you're in the lost energy, this is a perfect time to start doing this type of dreaming, this type of envisioning. Because whether you are really clear about what you want, when you're doing the exercise, you're going to start getting clearer about it and things are going to start opening up to you that you didn't think were possible before. Or you may have a new idea about something, a new solution, a new way of doing things. I think a lot of times when we are doing like things like a day in the life and we're writing our day in the life a year from now, and then it's the same day in the life and the same day in the life, same day in the life, and things maybe aren't coming to fruition fast enough. I feel that sometimes we elevate past the day in the life, but we're so stuck on what we've been planning all along that we don't yet see that there's something greater behind it. So all of these exercises can lead us to even more expansion, more growth, more opportunity, more solutions, more gifts opening. There's so much more. And it's really hard for me to get what they're dropping into my system right now into a linear fashion to all of you. But I don't feel that it matters because I feel like what they're doing is working with me in a way that energetically is just going out in my vibration of my voice to all of you for you to understand it the way you're supposed to understand it. It doesn't have to always be my way either. Like they invite you in to have the experience the way that it works for you. Because your gifts and what you possess and what you hold and what you do is different than what I do. And if you were just following my way of doing things, then you would miss the opportunity of turning on the lights inside your soul and really engaging in yourself, your energy, your vibration, your gifts, your talent, your unique qualities, because you would be so focused on how I'm teaching it that you would miss all of what you have to offer. So we are going to get started with this. So get comfortable, but you can also do this walking. It's not a big deal if you're doing it walking around, but you have to walk in a safe space. Like I don't want you hurting yourself, right? So you have to be very careful when you do this. For me, when I do conscious dreaming, when I'm walking, it's usually on a trail that I know very well. It might be like there's a circular trail I go on sometimes, and that's a place that I can really go into another dimension because I know the trail so well, and it's not like it's just go in a circle and that's all I have to know. So it could be a walking meditation. So if you're going to do this while you're walking, then make sure that you're doing it in a place that you're very safe and you're very familiar with, and that you feel really safe yourself. I would say don't do it that way unless you've been working with me for quite some time and you know how this works, okay? The other way you can do it in a bath. You can do it someplace without distraction. I don't want people coming into the room. I want you to do it in a place where you have some privacy. You could do it out in nature. You could do it out in a park. Just make sure wherever you do it, there's a safety mechanism. What I mean by safety is that you don't want to harm yourself or get hurt or I can go so out of the physical realm that I'm in that something could be going on around me and I may not be conscious to it. You could also ask that everything's intention, right? Everything I teach, even with your guides. You can also ask a guide to sit by you and say, okay, bring me out of it if I need to be brought out of it. But you have to really trust that can happen, right? Okay, so what I want you doing right now is just observing where you're at. I want you to observe the things in the room or outside, and I don't want you to get attached to it. So what I mean by that is like my rose water bottle is on my desk. It is energetically pulling me towards it. So I definitely don't want that in my vision because that's going to pull me towards it when I want to be going out of focus and out of the physical realm that I'm in. So I'm going to move that out of my vision so that it's not pulling my energy. The beautiful thing about this work and the work that we're going into is noticing what pulls on your energy if you don't already know. And this is going to help you to detach that pulling sensation because we can get pulled into things that can stress us out, make us anxious. Maybe it's got a reminder for us of a past experience. And once we start detaching from the things in our physical realm, it frees up our system to create something even greater and better. So I'm going to get quiet in a second and I just want you to notice what's around you, but I also want you to notice, is your energy being pulled towards it? So let me explain that just in case you struggle with that. I'm looking at a star on my bookshelf. Doesn't really have an energetic pull for me. It feels pretty neutral. Then I'm looking at a picture of my mom. That's got a pull on my heart. So that's going to engage my energy a little bit more. I'm looking at my Emmy. It's got somewhat of an energetic pull. So I just want you to notice, like, where am I being pulled? Where am I not being pulled? What has a neutrality to it? What doesn't have a neutrality? So just take a few moments now. And if you need to pause this so that you have longer with it, do what you need to do. Make sure you're breathing through it. Okay. So now I want you to scan lightly, and what is going to step in front of you in the physical realm is something that energetically detaches you from it. So that could be like Archangel Michael cutting the cords between you and anything in your physical realm. It could just be not landing on anything for a long period of time. So as I'm like scanning my bookshelf, I'm not landing on anything. I'm not focused on anything. I'm just kind of looking at the energy in front of it. And I want you to kind of try to focus on the energy in front of the object. So if I'm I'm going to go by, tell you what I'm getting. Your way may be different than my way. So allow it to be a different experience for you. But as I'm like looking at, I'm not staring at anything in the bookshelf. I'm not even paying attention to it. My focus isn't on it. My intention is not on it. So when I look in front of the bookshelf, I just see this, like, it's almost like somebody took a paintbrush of white and gray, and it's like one of those 3-inch, it's like maybe 4-inch paintbrush, a paintbrush that you would use for walls. And they're just kind of like painting in front of it. So to me, what's behind the paint is of no interest to me. They are pulling me into a whole other realm, into a different consciousness. So do that right now. And what I'm going to explain it one more time. What you're doing is basically fuzzing out what is in the physical realm. But I'm not, like, you know how sometimes you can make your eyes go out of focus? I'm not doing any of that. I'm just not focusing. My brain is not focused on anything on the bookshelf, because that's what's in front of me. It is only focused on what's in front of the bookshelf and what Spirit is showing me, which is like a paintbrush of gray and white. Do that now. And whatever it's going to be for you. But basically, you want to focus on the space between what is physically in front of you to where you're at, the space in between, and make it have some type of context. Okay. Now, if you're not ready to move on, you can pause this, take your time with it, because everybody works at different paces. And we're going to move on. So the next thing I want you to do is I really want you to come back to your heart, come back to your body, come back to your physical being. And between your heart and your throat lies compassion, right? But I want you to focus in your heart, your throat, your upper chakras, and I want you to think of something that you really want to bring to fruition, something that you're dreaming about. It could be a romantic relationship. It could be financial abundance. It could be a move. It could be a house. Now, I don't want you to limit yourself. I want you to do something big if you'd like. Now, if you're like, I'm not ready to go big because I'm afraid I'm never going to get it, whatever belief system is jumping in on that, do whatever feels comfortable to you. But I want you right now, I'm going to get quiet, to take a moment and think of a scenario, of a dream, of something that you truly desire. Notice how it feels in your physical body. How's your emotional energy? Are you feeling happy, excited, or are you feeling stuck? Don't judge any of it. You won't be able to move forward if you judge yourself and if you're like, I'm doing it wrong, I'm doing it wrong. You can't get this wrong or right. You can only be with it. So just notice your emotional energy. Now take a snapshot of this scenario. And what that means is, if, say, you're an author and you're at a bookstore signing a book, you would take a snapshot of you actually signing the book, some moment in time. So take a snapshot of the scenario, something happening in the scenario, and project it out in front of you. It's now a picture, and it's life-size. And it's starting to move. And I want you really engaging your imagination and your emotional experience. And I want you to see the energy of it moving, the experience moving. And I want you to focus in on different things. Are you inside? Are you outside? What is going on around you? How does it feel to be doing this thing? What's outside the corners of the vision? Does it extend further? Is there something else to the right, something else to the left, something else behind it? So I'm going to give you some time now to really play with this vision. And anytime you feel stuck, just think of something else you desire and continue to project it out there. And just notice what the experience is. And remember how we played with the apple. So if you're struggling with seeing at this point, I want you to just pick a moment. Maybe it's a podium. Maybe it's you on a date. Maybe it's the table and the tablecloth. If you just pick something specific and continue to work with seeing it, you will start engaging the vision more and more. And then what you do is, if, like, say it's a table with a cloth, I'm seeing a brown cloth and I'm seeing another cloth underneath it. And then I look past the cloth and I see the bar. Just continue to use your imagination and look outside. What is your focus? Make sure you continue to play around with the space, like, oh, what's down this hall, or what's down this road, or what's behind this scene, or what's above, what's below. And we'll go into that a little bit more, but I want you to get really familiar with this experience. So go play with it now. How does it feel? How are you feeling watching this, being part of it? Are you just watching it? Are you inside of it? How does it feel? Describe it to yourself, what it feels like. Notice the sounds that you're hearing in the vision. What kind of sounds are you hearing? Describe those sounds to yourself. What do you smell? Do you smell anything? And then engage your imagination. What do you want to smell? Now, if there's people in this vision, engage with them if you're not already engaging with them, but engage with them more and notice the conversation, what you hear, notice what you feel, notice what you see. Combine the three. So engage with people, or go find someone, maybe someone's to the right or someone's to the left or someone's behind it, and engage with them. Notice what you hear, what you see, and what you feel. Now I want you to be with this whole experience you just had. And I want you to continue to let it play out in front of you. And you may feel like, well, it's not playing out on its own. I have to engage with it to play it out, and that's okay. Let it be what it wants to be right now. Let it just move around. Let it start becoming energy. Maybe it's going to turn different colors. Maybe it's not going to be the vision that you're seeing any longer. Allow it to be what it wants to be. Let it show itself to you. Maybe it becomes a flower. Maybe it becomes a specific symbol. Maybe it doesn't become anything. Just notice what's happening in front of you as you're disengaging a tiny bit, but you're not fully coming out yet. I don't want you coming out yet. How does it feel? How does it feel in your emotional experience? What are your emotions right now as you're having this experience? So many times I ask people how they feel, and they describe it in a very oh, it feels white, just very normal, neutralized. I want you to use emotional words. I feel happy. I feel excited. I feel engaged. I feel inspired. I feel creative. I feel joy, whatever it is. But I want you to start using that now. Start saying what you feel. I feel like this is possible. What does that do for you? Now I want you to take the energy of this experience and bring it closer to you and have it surround you. Notice what it feels like. If you were to reach your hand out and touch this experience, what would it physically feel like? What would it smell like? What would it sound like? What does it emotionally feel like to have it around you? What do you know to be true? Use your claircognizance and just answer that question. What do you know to be true? And it may not make sense what you know to be true, but just let it answer. Let the answer come up. What do you know to be true? Now, if you enjoyed this experience, you could breathe this in and let it become part of your physical being. Or you could just let it play out wherever it wants to be. Let it dissolve. Let it just become part of the universe you're in, the physical experience you're in. It may just dissolve into the energy of the room or outside. And I want you to start bringing your awareness to where you are right now, into your physical body. Start noticing things, really getting your focus back into the room, or if you're outside. I'm going to actually do a beginning to this where I don't feel like when you do this the first couple of times, you should be outside because it's too strong. Or you're not going to have as strong as an experience if you're just sitting with it. So just start noticing things. Notice your hands, notice what you're wearing. Really bring your attention back into your physical body. Stamp your feet, tap your leg, tap your heart. Pull your spirit into your physical body. You can say your name to yourself 3 times. Whatever you have to do to pull your spirit back into your body, do it now. Notice how you feel as you pull yourself into the physical world. You may experience a big difference in emotional energy, emotional feelings. So when I do this work, or when I am, sometimes it'll be like the energy of the dream, the conscious dreaming is so incredibly rich and emotionally engaging in a beautiful, beautiful way. And then when I pull into my physical world, I may feel a denseness. And if that's the experience you're having, whatever the difference is, you want to make notice of that, because you want to make sure that the physical world you're in has got more of the emotional experience of the conscious dream than of the physical experience, if the physical experience is hitting at a lower vibration or a lower energy level. And then look at what you can shift in your physical experience in order to get the higher emotional experience. Know what you need to do in your day to get that as well. So it may be like going hiking, drinking a cup of tea, just looking out at nature, watching a cute little dog video, whatever is going to bring that emotional experience into your physical experience. Make sure that you do that. Most importantly, notice the difference. Notice the difference in how you feel about your regular life and how you feel about your dream state, and consciously and constantly ask yourself how to bridge the two. Don't drive yourself crazy about it. Make it an easy thing. So what I mean by that is I'm doing this more and more and more with my life, and it's really shifting so many things. So if I'm having a lower vibrational experience, what can I do to shift me into a higher vibrational experience? And maybe I can't do it in the moment. Like I know walking in nature and listening to a podcast and walking with my dog right away raises my vibration. But maybe I can't do it in the moment. But I can think about, at blah, blah, blah time, I'm going to do that. And I get excited and already shifts my energy in the moment. So have things in your tool chest that you know raise your vibration right away, and make them part of your everyday existence, and make sure that they are there in case you're having a lower vibrational experience. Remind yourself, at 3 o'clock, I'm going to go and take a walk. And I know that that's going to make me feel great. So just come into your body more right now. And ask yourself, how far away do you feel from that dream? Does it feel miles away, or does it feel like it's right there? Just ask yourself that question. And remember something, there are no wrong or rights. Everything is information, and it's how you deal with the information that counts. So if you feel like it's miles away, well, then you have everything in your power to shift things. What do you need to shift? Many times it's just shifting your experience and making sure that you're dreaming about it more and visualizing it more and then taking action every single day towards it. That's going to shift how you experience your life. If it feels like it's right there, ask yourself, well, what is the thing that I need to do in order to embrace it now, to bring it in now? And I'll tell you something, a lot of what you need to do to bring it in now is invite it in, welcome it in. Say, okay, I'm ready. And really be ready then. Because many times people are dreaming in a place where they're not really ready to receive it. So be honest with yourself. Are you really ready to receive it? Are you really ready for that type of recognition or that type of love? And here's the other thing. So say you're like, no, I am ready. I know that I have some stuff, but don't put it on hold. Don't be like, I have to work on this and I have to work on that before I have this, before I have that. What you can do is start inviting in tidbits of the experience and being very conscious to when it comes in of what your emotional state is when it comes in. So let me explain this. There are many things that I'm working on as I record this, August 28th, 2023. I have a thing with time. We're going to learn a lot about time in Next Level Living, and you'll understand why I do what I do. So as these are things that are starting to come into my life, they're coming into my life. And as they come in, because they're so different than my physical experience has been in a while, my emotional experience goes, whoa, but I don't shut the door. I don't sabotage it. I invite it in and I say, this is great. I can feel the fear that's coming up. Or I could feel the way that I would possibly react to this that wouldn't have been healthy in the past. And I'm very conscious to my experience in the new experience. Therefore, I'm able to walk through it in a powerful way. So all of this is about consciousness. Every single piece, even the dream, the conscious dreaming is consciousness. How can you get more conscious? How can you be more conscious in your life? How can you focus on more of what you desire and be conscious of that? How can you be conscious of the things that aren't working for you? Those are questions you have to answer. Okay, take a couple of breaths. I went deep, so I'm trying to still come into my physical body. And I'm in it. Okay, put your feet on the ground. If you're like me, touch the things, slap your hands, clap your hands. And that's it. Thank you so much. Enjoy this. And I cannot wait to hear what experience you have. Take care.